Where's Maryna? 6 weeks out. We're shooting on March 22nd. We're supposed to go through her script today. I wonder where she is. Maryna.
Hello?
What? Who's Maryna?
Do you see me?
Where?
I'm right here.
Where's here?
In front of you. I'm the one spinning.
What? You mean... Well, I guess we're rolling. So we are here live with Maryna. Live, right, Maryna?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very live.
So this is SCRIPTFEST Season 2, and we're going to be talking to you about the first film that will be going out, and it's entitled It's March 17th and I'm Still in Love with You. So for whoever doesn't know about SCRIPTFEST, we had 6 live pitch sessions and throughout November and January of 2025, and we had over 34 ideas pitched to us. From there, we had our Season 1 members do the hard job of voting which film gets shortlisted. So we shortlisted 6 of those ideas, which was incredibly hard because it was so many good ideas. And so we shortlisted those 6 ideas, and then we gave the harder task to 5 official SCRIPTFEST judges. And those judges were Jason Gillette from Beyond the Pine. He's a producer making feature films. We had Kara Haffelson, who's also another producer from New Metric Media. There was Greg Jeff, who's a producer and works at Sunbelt Rentals, which is our sponsors as well for SCRIPTFEST. There was CF Benner, who is a film distributor for Black Fawn Distribution. And then there was Kristen Rochon, who's a producer. And those incredibly talented and experienced judges had all these 6 ideas that were shortlisted. They pitched to them, such as Maryna pitched to these judges, and from there they had the incredibly hard task of selecting only 4 of those ideas to move through. And Maryna is one of them that pitched, and the judges selected her project, and now she's going to be making her idea, which she pitched in November, and will now be turned into a short film in the coming months. And so we're going to be going through the process every week and catching up with Maryna and see how she's doing. And we're also going to catch up with her on set and see the chaos. And we're going to be delivering you some awesome behind the scenes throughout the 6 weeks of pre-production. And with that said, so Maryna, tell us about your film.
So the story starts with main character Reverie. We see her holding on to her heartbreak. But she tries to move on, and she tries to erase an old cassette tape from her ex-girlfriend, but the past refuses to let go, and her ex answers back. And that blurs the line between memory and reality for our main character. And we kind of see it's about a story about nostalgia, closure, maybe like holding on or moving on. We don't know what's going to happen. And I would define it as, I guess, magical realism, because there's this object that comes to life, and drama, romance, and a sprinkle of humor.
Wow. How did you even come up with this?
Oh, well, of course, it's a very personal story, and we're going to dive into that a little bit later. But it is inspired, if for the lack of a better word, by my last breakup. And I felt like, when you experience something so deeply, you really want to express that in some sort of art form. And I thought that multimedia for that works perfectly, because it's such a multifaceted, such a complex feeling. Sometimes feel grateful, sometimes feel angry, and there's all these memories that come back to you at very random moments. And I just felt that making a short film would really capture all of that and maybe make people feel like related to and seen.
Wow. And tell us, so this is your first time directing, or have you done other stuff before in terms of short films?
So I participated. I was on set of short films, even Season 1 SCRIPTFEST. I was the lead actress, but I never directed short films before. I directed music videos and just some sort of documentary, news reports, things like that, but not really fiction. So that's very new for me, and I'm super excited also to try that medium out.
That's right. I think it's important to highlight that you, like you said, you were the actor on 20 Crickets, which was one of our season one ScriptFest film. And from there, you got inspired and you started. Well, I guess you were already writing your script when you were on set. I remember that you were pitching this story already. So, what was the lead time from the seed of the idea? Where does it come from? How far back are we going?
So we're going back to late spring last year. I got an idea, I got a premise. I just thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if all these memories that we have with people that were once important to us suddenly came to life and could talk to us, and maybe we could say something that we didn't get to say, or maybe we would get another chance to try it again. And so I think I got the idea late May, and that was about time when I was enrolling in OCAD courses in Toronto as a part of Artworks TO program. And one of the courses was script writing course. And I thought, well, that's perfect because in the end of the course, we were supposed to have the first draft of the story. So I kind of took the chance and decided why not to try and turn it into an actual script. And that was basically the first draft, I think, end of June. And yeah, this idea has been living in my head for a while. And then I got a perfect opportunity to get to know people in Sudbury, and I was just fascinated by all the creative community that no one talks about. Like, why no one is talking about it in Toronto? I mean, Toronto has nothing on Sudbury. Are you kidding me? Yeah, and I met all these amazing people, and I just being on set with them made me realize I want to make film. I want to make this film with my friends, with people I trust, and have fun during the process. And so that was when I was like, okay, when is the next pitch session? And yeah, waited for season 2, came from Toronto, pitched, and was super excited to see where it's going to take me. And of course was preparing for any outcome because the story was so important to me and I really wanted to make it true, but very grateful that I ended up being part of season 2 at the end of the day.
Well, I think it's so important to highlight that, you know, this is why I wanted to ask you that question about when did you have that seed of the idea and the kind of the evolution of it, because everyone that is at season 2 that are going to be doing their films, which are 4 films that are going to go off at season 2, is that all of these ideas that were pitched at ScriptFest were ideas that have been lingering in these people's minds for years. You know, I know even, for example, there's another one, Pierre's film, and Josh, which they're making, and that's the last ScriptFest film. He pitched that story like 12 months before he pitched to me in the summertime, and has just been working it. And so it's really important to highlight when, like, the people that are now making their films and pitched at ScriptFest, your pitch was really good. It was honed in, it was refined, you had music, you had ambiance, you had the tone set out. And that's just because you had worked it for so long in your mind, and also you had written some drafts of the script. So I think it's just worth to point out that, you know, just keep working that idea, right? It's never going to happen from this to that, but you have to keep perseverance, right? You have to keep at it, and you'll get clarity the more that you pitch it to people, the more that you write it down, the more that you do things with it, the clarity will start to shape up. Even from when you pitched in November to when you pitched to the 5 official judges at ScriptFest, your pitch was much more refined than the first time even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it's very important, I think, to believe in the story that you want to come true. It's sort of like a little echoing my film, actually, like what you believe in comes true. What you really want to happen will happen. And sometimes it's the right time. Sometimes maybe it's, as I said, the belief in the story. Sometimes maybe you need to change something in the story to make it more appealing. There is a lot of work that comes with writing scripts. So for sure, just go for opportunities and watch out and never shut up about your film. I think.
Well, I think you said that there's a lot of synergies in your film, and art imitates life, life imitates art. And even your title, I remember when you pitched it and you're like, it's March 17th. And at that time, I literally had it in the calendar that we were going to do the first ScriptFest film on the weekend of March 17, or it's like March 16, but it would end up being one of the shoot dates was supposed to be March 17th. Exactly. And I'm just like, I don't know, Maryna, I haven't, and you pitched to the second session, so there was still 4 more sessions of pitches. And then I'm like, I don't know, man. And it just seems like your title just makes it that for some reason it will align, and we're going to just end up shooting on those dates. And yes, we had to move it a weekend, but that's essentially you kind of wrote your own story, right? You're like, it's March 17th, and I wanted to shoot around that time, and now it's happening. And like you say, never give up. That's the thing, right? You just got to really believe in your story. If you don't believe in it, why should we believe in it, right? So that's where I think, because how you got here wasn't by, anything else other than you doing an amazing pitch. Because people had to vote. It wasn't up to me, it wasn't up to the sponsors, it wasn't up to anybody. And then you had to convince 5 really experienced judges that do production all the time to show that you're not only passionate about it, but you can make it happen. And you did that. So, congratulations. It's so amazing. And also, we write our own scripts to our own lives, right? And that is a really good example of you just making it happen.
Yeah, it's a sort of a way to manifest what you want and take control over your life, and just put it out there in the universe and to people. And there was something else I wanted to say. I think it's also important to remember, and that's what this festival teaches you, is that as a creative, you also have to be your own producer a little bit, have to convince people that your story is worth making. And that's what I noticed on SCRIPTFEST. It was a very interesting learning experience for everyone, and for me, even going from, as you said, first pitch to the last pitch, is seeing that it's not only about the story and how you believe in it, but also how ready are you to actually make it happen. Because people who select you, they want to make sure they select you and they know that, okay, this person knows what they're doing.
Yeah, that's a really good note.
So yeah, it's a lot about understanding, like, realistically scope of your production and what you need, how SCRIPTFEST at all can help you. Maybe you can do it on your own or with your friends, or maybe you need way bigger production. So there is this kind of also understanding realistically of the opportunities that are given, provided, and making the best out of it. So sometimes it can be shortening your story or expanding it, or there's a lot of going into it. But I definitely recommend anyone to come, at least listen, and just learn from watching and listening and making your own conclusions and hearing people's feedbacks. That's another great thing, that there's a 10-minute feedback after each pitch, so you get to answer questions sometimes that you didn't ask yourself. That tells you a lot about your story.
Yeah, and again, that clarity comes from you just doing it, right? You could not arrive at that clarity because you needed to go through that. And even if you do bad pitch, there's no such thing as bad pitch because you pitched it. The bad thing would be not pitching. But let's say that you did a less than spectacular pitch and your expectations are different, but you still, failing is as good as succeeding, because you learn way more by failing, and by doing a bad pitch, you'll only know how to do a good pitch afterwards. And that's what I say, like, your pitch was so good and spot on that when you pitched it, we already knew the story. You painted such a good visual in our mind's eye. And so maybe we could just touch upon, let's not, go too deep into it, but what do you think makes a good pitch?
Ooh. I think thinking outside of the box, I think thinking outside of the box definitely makes your pitch special. Like, for example, using music or using different mediums. It doesn't have to be like a presentation, or not, at least for this format of pitching. I think the least distractions from your words, the better. More focus on story, and you can use some visuals to sort of reflect the cinematography maybe you want to see, and things like that. But I think using your voice as a tool, using your face, sounds, it's involving other people maybe if the festival allows it. And yeah, as I said, not only being confident in your story, but also understanding how to make it. And I think also a good sign is if you know your story well, and I've asked you any question, the answer, so the audience wants to understand, why should we care about the story? Like, okay, there's this thing happening and it's exciting, but like, why is it worth watching? Like, this could happen in 1 minute, right? Why should we watch 15 minutes of it? What is the deeper story behind it? So I think that's that's something I would definitely recommend to focus on when you prepare your pitch.
That's so good. I hope everybody that's listening and are thinking of pitching for season 3 in September, that, you know, they take away some of these notes and start pitching right now. Start practicing, you know, start just, whether you say it to other people or just kind of see how people respond, right? Like, oh, I have an idea for a film, and you kind of just say a little bit, doesn't have to be perfect, and then get that feedback. Always get that feedback. And then, you know, you'll arrive to knowing your story so well, right? So those are really good notes. Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
So now we're basically 6 weeks away from making your film. How do you feel?
I can't believe this is happening. I'm in denial.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
No.
It's gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah, I know, and I think for me especially, since it's the first time directing a short film, I feel a big excitement, but also a big responsibility, because now it's a bigger project than a music video or anything I shot before. So a lot of people, it's accountability, and it's also test on leadership, I think, and kind of ability to put people on the same page. And I'm very excited to see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, when you're going to be doing your film in 6 weeks from now, not only will you have, you know, the resource of SCRIPTFEST, but everybody that's sponsored also with SCRIPTFEST. And I just want to give a huge shout out. You know, you'll have the gear from all of Sunbelt Rentals, which basically any Hollywood lights that you could find in Hollywood, all the lights, the stands, the diffusion material and all that stuff. They're sponsoring SCRIPTFEST, meaning that we have access to, you know, the professional gear that any film, you know, that have millions of dollars would use. That we have the exact same equipment, and then we have our sponsor from Canada Film Equipment and Ontario Camera, which are also graciously donating their camera, their cinema camera. So you know, if you're feeling like this should be shot on anamorphic lenses or these different type of lenses, these camera houses can source it, and we have access to all of this amazing gear, wireless follow focus, you know, wireless video. And so now you have basically all the gear that cinema uses or professional film uses, and then you'll have a bunch of volunteers that and really professional crew that will be helping you make this. And so we really just want you to succeed, right? The whole idea of SCRIPTFEST is that we know we can make a great film. The only thing that's missing is a great idea, you know, and this is why we're so excited to do your film, and we're 100% behind you, because you've proven, you know, with your pitch twice, not only to the public, but then to the judges, that not only your idea is good because it's been voted and ranked, but you also showed that you're capable of putting together a pitch deck and communicate your idea clearly to other professionals in the industry. So we are so stoked to do this with you, and I think it's going to be such a fun and wild ride, and I can't wait to see the visuals you're going to come up with. Well, Maryna, are you ready now for the quick bite questions?
Oh, yum. Yes.
Okay. All right. Question number 1. Let's see here. It's March 17th and I'm still in love with you. Did you lose a bet or just like long titles?
First of all, I really do. It's always when I see a film with a long title. Well, by do I mean not the bad thing, but the liking long titles. When I see a film with a title that sounds like a sentence, I'm always intrigued. I'm like, okay, you could have picked an easier one, so there must be something interesting behind it. But actually, this title is very special because I did not come up with it. This is an actual text from my ex-girlfriend. I know. Shout out to my ex. Hope I don't get into any intellectual property copyright issues. Yeah, and when I got this text, I remember thinking, damn, this is a banger of a film title. Like, I will use it if I ever write anything about us. And, well, when I got the idea, that's immediately when I thought of it. And honestly, I never had any alternative title ever since. It was just, like, very clear to me that has to be it.
Yeah, and you know what? It's whatever happens, if you're dating a filmmaker and whatever happens in your life, it's up for grabs. This is what us filmmakers do. We just, anything in our lives, we put it into our stories. So, you know, it's fair games. This is what I say.
I know. So watch out.
Ready for question number 2? Quick bite question number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. If you could time travel to any era and bring back an object, what would you bring back? And no, you can't say dinosaur.
I mean, I don't want to be on the nose, but I think I would bring something like a cassette tape or a vinyl. Yeah, well, who would have thought? Yeah, I honestly, when I grew up in my childhood, I still used cassettes and VHS cassettes, and I watched movies on those. And I really miss, first of all, being able to touch the art physically, like hold it in my hands. It kind of made it more special, but also having limited opportunities of what to watch or what to listen to made you appreciate it way more, because now we have so many options. It's like limitless opportunities, limitless possibilities, and we are so numb and like apathetic to everything. Like, I spend more time picking a film than watching it. So
Oh my God.
yeah, I definitely would bring something like that, and maybe something personal, you know, like a mixtape someone made for someone. I actually once found one on the street, and that was very sweet.
Yeah. And if you got a mixtape, you need a cassette player.
Yeah, you need it.
All right. Quick bite question number 3. Okay. All right. Number 3. What's the biggest challenge in making this film beside stretching the budget like a yoga instructor?
Yeah, I think it can be challenging in the sense that there are so many things that I need to not navigate currently from the distance. But once again, having the crew you trust and you just know it's going to be great no matter what, you know, they're by your side. So I'm not too worried about that. But another challenge is that it's such a personal story, and when you write a personal story, it's so hard to detach from it. And so, yeah, rewriting, editing, cutting some things out, that's like a thing that I'm working on right now. It's like, okay, this is not about me right now anymore. You know, it was about me maybe when I was writing, but now it's about the story, and whatever works best for the story, that's what I need to do. And so kind of detaching yourself from your own art and being a bit more, I don't know, I guess colder to it is a skill definitely you need when you are going into production, just simply to make it work.
Yeah, that's true. Eh? Saying like in your mind, you're like, it happened like this, so therefore, you know, this is how the story's got to go. And it's like, no, but what's the cinematic angle that says way more than just this linear thing? And yeah, that's certainly a challenge, right? Especially because it's so real to you.
Yeah, exactly. And you feel like you don't want to lie or you don't want to hide things. You want it to be like accurate, but also life. Like, that's why we watch movies, right? They are reflecting what happens in our life, but in a very special way. And you don't want to take that special way away from the film by making it too realistic or maybe, just too close to reality. And sometimes you need to look at it at a different angle.
Okay. Quick bite question number 4. Which films were your biggest inspiration? And did any of them make you I'm totally stealing that respectfully?
My favorite film of all time is Amelie.
Oh yeah.
And I wouldn't say I'm stealing anything from there in the sense of like literally taking some ideas, but I think that the general vibe of this like whimsy and something magical, and this girl who's kind of like head in the clouds and she's feeling the world very deeply. I think that's just very relatable to me personally, and I think I want Reverie, my main character, to reflect that as well. I also, speaking of content-wise, there is a website. I don't know if I can mention websites.
You can. Let's try.
There's a website called Nowness, and they have a whole section called Lovesick of short films on love, heartbreak, things like that. And honestly, style-wise, narrative-wise, all of them really speak to me. And I definitely felt like, okay, no one was going to know. No one was going to know. I can't do the same thing. Because they're just so good. And given also that it's a short film, I think that's very useful to have these references, not just from feature films, but something more quicker, some other format that can reflect the same thing but in a way shorter time.
So Amelie is a big just influence in terms of just tone and style and vibe, but really some short films that you really you see the pacing of it and more the practicality of it.
Exactly. Although I want to say that the idea of the cassette coming alive was coming from me, because I have this cassette player and a bunch of cassettes, and I just thought how interesting that would be. And I honestly tried to find something that would have the same premise of like what cassette is talking back, and I couldn't. So maybe if someone knows, they can leave in the comments so I can watch it. But yes, definitely trying to bring something unique perspective on a very common and widespread topic. But there's definitely lots of inspiration out there.
Awesome. And now, quick bite question number 5. Okay, what message or feeling do you want the audience to take away? An existential revelation, or just the urge to dramatically stare out of the window?
Why not both? I think a large theme of this film is nostalgia, which will be reflected in many things that you will see. I definitely want people to kind of live through the world that Reverie lives in, which is a little bit in her head, a little bit in her memories, a bit in her past. And the story is definitely about holding on and letting go and thinking which one serves us better. Because both of them have place in our life, and both of them can bring us some positive, I don't even know, revelations, what's the word?
Existential revelation.
Yeah, there's a revelation. We all have done both for different reasons, and I think this film explores why we long for our past, and maybe gives us hope that the present can be just as exciting.
Well, I would say to add to that is also that, we can't, when one door closes, another one opens, right? We can't, if we're in denial and we live in the past, we're no longer moving forward, right? And this is kind of the characters' ordeals, that they just can't move forward, and with that, their life is not moving forward, and their ambition and their drive is all held up because they're living in the past. And I think, I really hope that when people watch this film, that they feel like creating some art now. They feel inspired and want to reach their potential and create and take all that heartbreak, all those pains, and make some beautiful art with it.
Exactly. And I also want to make sure that when I show that, I don't make people feel bad about holding on and not letting go. I want to show that this is part of our human nature. That means you love someone. You can't just immediately let go. You envision them in your future, and so this future is right now. Like, you thought this day, today, you're gonna live with them. So this is normal to still like cling to them and hope they're here at least somehow. If you think about them enough, maybe we're still together. In the sense. So I definitely don't want people to be ashamed of it. I want to be like, hey, let's embrace it. This is good. But there is a but, which I'm not going to talk about.
That's right. Right? Don't. It's okay. It's part of the grieving process. Yet the final steps to this grieving process is accepting and moving forward, right? And going into the new, the unknown, all of the scary stuff. But also with that unknown comes new opportunities, new love, right?
Yeah, and for sure the tape coming back, for me it's a symbol of your own consciousness and what your imagination can do. It can hold you back, or it can push you forward, and that's up to you in the end of the day.
Beautiful. Well, that's the 5 quick bite questions I had for you. Thank you for answering them.
Thank you for asking.
So now, this kind of, let's just talk a little bit about what's coming up. I believe you have a casting call that's out.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking for actors and actresses at the moment. So if you are interested in the story, if it intrigued you and you relate to it, or you just think it would be a great fit or know somebody, there is an audition happening right now, and you can find more information on our social media. There is social media for the film itself. There is a Dog95 and my Instagrams. And yeah, you can also support our fundraising crowdfunding page by donating, and it is also linked in the bio.
That's right, everyone. So don't worry if you don't know where to find things. It's all the links are in the bottom of this video, and the links are on our link tree and our social media everywhere. We'll be promoting this film and then our next films as they come along. There's definitely a casting call that is out. We're really hoping that we get a lot of auditions and a lot of really great people, because this is a really cool and exciting opportunity for anybody that wants to work their craft of acting, right? And Maryna is working her directing muscles and all that stuff. So it's really important if you want to be an actor and also want to be in more films. This is definitely the place to start, and this is the place that this film, we're really hoping that it gets into lots of film festivals and has a lot of views. So this would be a really good film to be part of it, because you'll be working with a really talented director. So with that said, Maryna, do you have any final words?
Yeah, I think I want to say, first of all, trust the journey. I think a lot of people feel, oh, I want to be directing, I want to direct, I want to have my short film. But it's the matter of the right idea coming at the right time. And when it comes, you just know that it's going to happen. And I want to say thank you to SCRIPTFEST for helping me make this film happen. I'm very honored to start off season 2, and I'm very grateful for season 1 participants, everyone who voted for me. Thank you, my mom. Yeah, I'm just very excited to see where this goes, and super excited to see also other 3 films in production as well. And Matt, the last thing, don't forget to buy.
Maryna. All right, folks. That's obviously why you need to support this film, so we can buy more batteries and get Maryna back. Please, please, please. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next week at our 5 weeks out pre-production meeting with Maryna, and we're going to go through location scouting and more casting. See you all there.